And you know how we start. 1, 2, 3.
I'm
I'm ready.
ready.
All right, guys. All right, we're going to start with our story. I want you to imagine you're sitting in the stands of your child's baseball game. It's been a long day. The phone is buzzing. The emails are piling up. Your mind is still at work. And without realizing it, you keep glancing down at your screen. Your child steps up to bat. The first pitch goes by. The second pitch is a strike. On the third pitch, the child connects with the ball and runs towards first base. Before reaching the base, they look into the stands searching for that one face, yours. But you're still looking at your phone. The moment passes quickly. The game continues. No one says anything. Later that night, you're looking through the photos of the game and you see that one image of your child standing at the first base, looking into the crowd. And suddenly, it's no longer about the baseball game. It's about presence. It's about how often the people we love are not asking us to solve everything, provide more, or say the perfect words. Sometimes they're just simply looking to whether we're there. That picture changed everything. The next game, the phone was in the car. When the child steps up to bat, we're standing there cheering and completely being present. And remember, the child may not remember of the score of either of the game. They may not remember how many hits or who even won, but they will always remember looking into the stand and seeing someone fully there for them. Because information enters all of our minds, but emotion enters our heart. And when a moment makes us feel loved, valued, important, we don't simply experience it, we remember it. So today, I want to speak about something that has the power to transform the way we learn, the way we lead, and the way we communicate. And that's emotion. Because when something reaches our heart, we don't simply understand it. You remember it, just like the stories we were sharing about how we purchased our first homes. Think about those moments in our life that you can recall with absolute clarity. Maybe it was that moment you received that great news. Maybe it was the day you achieved something you worked for years. Maybe it was the birth of a child, a wedding, a graduation, or the first time someone told you that they believed in you. Last weekend, I was actually at the nail salon getting my nails done when my son texted me a picture of his first fitting in the suit that he's wearing at his wedding. That feeling that came over me, I wish I could bottle it. I was glowing so much that people around me were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, do you want to see a picture of my son?" And everyone joined in. We all remember where we were when those moments happened. You remember who was with you. You remember what the room looked like. You may even remember the weather that was happening or the music that was playing. Why? Because of emotion. Our lives are filled with lots of little ordinary moments, but the moments we remember forever are the ones that made us feel something, that teaches us an important lesson. If we want to create lasting change, we cannot rely on just information. We must connect the information to emotion. We've all heard that advice: eat healthier, exercise more, save money, be present, stop procrastinating, take action. We all know intellectually these are things we should be doing. We already know all of that. But the challenge of knowing something is not always enough to change us. Change begins when we make that message personal. It happens when we see what is truly at stake. It happens when we connect the action to the need of something that we love, a future we desire, or a pain we no longer want to experience. For example, I need to take better care of myself. Well, that might not really move us. But saying, I want to be healthy enough to dance at my granddaughter's wedding, now that connects to emotion. Now, the goal is no longer about a number on a scale. It's about love. And that emotional connection gives that goal a meaning. It's the same thing with our careers. We may tell ourselves, I need to make more phone calls. I'll check it off the task list. But what happens when we say, every call I make could connect me with a family that needs more guidance, a business partner that needs more support, or an opportunity that could change someone's life? Suddenly that call has a purpose. That activity has emotion behind it. You're no longer checking it off, you're serving someone. That's why stories are so powerful. People forget the bullet points and the presentations, but they remember the stories. They remember the client who thought home ownership was impossible until someone took the time to help. They remember the team member who was struggling until a leader chose encouragement instead of criticism. They remember the person who kept going after being told no repeatedly. Facts can prove a point, but stories make people care. And caring is what inspires you to take action. Also, keep in mind that our words we use matter very much. There's a difference between telling someone, good job, and someone saying, I saw how hard you worked on that. I saw the patience you showed, the extra effort you gave, and the way you refused to give up. I'm very proud of you. Both are positive, but one of them carries emotion. One becomes memorable. When you add that emotion, it creates meaning. And when you add meaning, people listen to it very differently. They remember differently and they act differently. But emotion is not only something we use to influence others, it's also something we can use to influence ourselves. When we're trying to create that new habit or pursue a meaningful goal, ask yourself, why does this matter? Who will it benefit? How will my life feel better? Never settle for that first answer. Go deeper. You may begin by saying, I want to grow my business. Why? To create more income. Why? To provide security for my family. Why? So the people I love feel safe and I have opportunity. Why? Because I want my life and my work to mean something. That's where the emotion lives. That's the deeper reason that becomes fuel when motivation fades. Goals without emotion just become obligations. Goals connected to emotion, they become a mission. I have a dry erase board to the right of me, and I have many things written on it. I actually was sharing with Kerry what some of those things said yesterday. This is one of the things I have written on it is this is not a life. It's a calling. You are the sacred yes. That is something I look at every single day as a reminder to me that I was chosen to do this work. I don't have to do it. I am blessed I get to do it. There is also something on the other side of this. Sometimes we avoid emotion because it makes us feel vulnerable. Just like I shared, I sat on my living room floor crying the first time that I went to buy a house because I was scared I wasn't going to be able to make that mortgage payment. Jenny jumped in and she was vulnerable to share her story. Sometimes that's scary. Sometimes we're afraid to open ourselves up because of how people may judge us. We want to remain professional and composed and in control. But vulnerability is often where that connection begins. I see Jenny a little bit differently from sharing that story, and maybe you feel a little bit different about me sharing that story. We don't always have to be dramatic. You don't always have to share every detail of your life, but you do have to be real. You can say, this matters to me. You can share why you care. You can let people know that their effort, trust, and support has affected you. You can speak from your heart. This is not a weakness. It's actually leadership. People don't follow perfect leaders. They follow leaders that they believe in. They follow people who make the mission feel human. They follow people whose passion reminds them why their work matters. And when you're leading yourself, you have to do the same thing. Don't just write down what you want to accomplish. Visualize it, feel it, picture that perfect moment. Imagine the people that are beside you. Imagine that freedom and peace and pride and gratitude you'll experience. Make the future emotionally real before it ever physically becomes real. Your mind may understand the plan, but it's your heart that must believe in the destination. So today, I encourage you to add emotion. That's one of the reasons why I love doing this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It allows me to express my emotion early in the day so I can start my day off well. When you communicate, don't share the facts. Share why it matters. When you recognize someone, don't just praise the result. Tell them what their effort meant. When you set a goal, don't only measure what you want. Connect it to who you love and who you want to become. When you teach, use stories. When you lead, show passion. When you express gratitude, be specific. And when something really matters to you, don't be afraid to let people feel it. Because you are not changed by what you hear alone. You're changed by what moves us. Remember, words give us hope. Remember that person who believed in us. Remember the moment we finally decided that our lives can be different. Information can open the door, but it's emotion who often is what gives us the courage to walk through the door. So ask yourself this morning, what change am I ready to create? What message am I communicating? What dream am I trying to remember? And have I connected to it enough emotionally to make it unforgettable? Do not simply know what matters. Feel why it matters. Because once your heart becomes connected to the mission, your actions will begin to follow. Thank you all for joining and make it a remarkable day. Have a good one, everyone.